Hi, Lee Phillips here. I'm still a lawyer, and they said I was supposed to tell a lawyer joke. I told one in the last video on co-trustees. I don't have many lawyer jokes. Do you know how many lawyer jokes there are? There are actually only 3. All the rest of them are true. At any rate, let's talk about PODs and TODs, pay on death, transfer on death, versus using a trust. And the PODs, the TODs are becoming more popular. The banks are encouraging you to do it so that your bank account isn't caught up in probate after you die. If you name somebody for the pay on death or the transfer on death, then instantly upon your death, that bank account transfers to that individual. It's paid out to that individual. Now, you could put more than one name down as the recipient of the pay on death or the transfer on death. So people are coming in and they're listing all their kids. That's smart. Now I don't have to go through probate with that bank account. Well, I'd prefer to see you use a trust, because you can get into trouble, particularly if there are multiple people on the POD or the TOD. If one of those individuals dies before you or becomes incompetent, then the bank isn't going to know what to do. They're going to require a probate order, basically. So if you name the trust is going to should address anyway, what happens if one of the kids dies before you do or becomes incompetent before you die, and what happens to their share, as we call it. That isn't possible in the POD and the TODs. If something goes wrong, if there's a hiccup, then you've got a problem, and the bank's basically going to require the probate order. The object is to avoid probate. The object of the trust is to avoid probate. So the trust is just much more flexible and allows for hiccups to occur and not really affect what happens. Whereas the TOD and the POD are very narrow. Now, get my ebook on how to use a trust so you know what to do. Just click below. It's down there. I don't sell your information. You're okay. You're not going to get 60 trillion emails. You will get an update now and then when I post a new YouTube or when I write a new article or that sort of thing. But the POD has the problem of not being that flexible. If mom, all she's got is, she's living in the rest home, all she's got is a bank account, okay, use a POD, use a TOD, and name that individual. By the way, that individual gets it. If you go in and put the individual's name on the account, then that person gets it too, but your account is exposed to their creditors during your lifetime. So you don't ever put your kids' names on anything. Kids are like yogurt. You never know when they're going to go bad. So keep your kids' names off of it. Name them as a transfer on death recipient or a pay on death recipient if you need to. And if mom's just got this bank account and nothing else, fine, just do that. Don't worry about the big trust. But if you are like many people, you've got houses, you've got bank accounts and brokerage accounts and all this other stuff, don't rely on the POD, TOD. Never put the kids' names directly on the bank accounts or the brokerage accounts or whatever it is. That goes right out and around your will. I could care less what your will says. That guy gets it. If their name's on the account as a joint tenant with you, they get it. So use the POD sparingly. In some cases, it works good, and it's better than the trust. Well, it's never better than the trust, but it's a ton cheaper, and it's a lot faster and a lot easier. So consider the POD, TOD in certain circumstances, but generally, if you've got a little more complicated than just a bank account, mom's in the rest home situation, you're going to use the trust. This is Lee Phillips talking about PODs and TODs versus a trust.